Hi, everyone. It's Evelyn Ackah from Ackah Business Immigration Law. Thank you so much for joining me for this LinkedIn Live today. I'll be focusing on a recent announcement made by the Immigration Minister, 𝘛𝘳𝘢𝘯𝘴 Fraser, announcing 16 new occupations that are now going to be eligible for permanent residence through the express entry stream. This is a really big deal. It was announced late November, and I'm sure given the holidays and everybody somehow got a little bit lost in the mix of the holidays, but I wanted to raise it again because I think it's really important that people understand that we now have 16 new pathways to permanent residence for occupations that previously could not qualify under express entry. So I'm going to go through the occupations, and some of them are a bit surprising. I never knew we were having a hard time with either finding them or that they didn't have options for permanent residence. So one of them is the payroll administrator. Another one is dental assistants and dental lab assistants, nurses' aides and orderlies and patient service associates, pharmacy technical assistants and pharmacy assistants, elementary and secondary school teacher assistants, sheriffs and bailiffs. Who knew that we had a hard time getting them to permanent residence? Correctional service officers, bylaw enforcement and other regulatory officers, estheticians, electrologists and related occupations, residential and commercial installers and servicers, pest controllers and fumigators, other repair and service people, transport truck drivers. This one I really knew much about. We'll talk about it again. Bus drivers, subway operators, and transit operators, heavy equipment operators, and aircraft assemblers, and aircraft assembly inspectors. So the reason this is so significant is because most of these people would only qualify for permanent residence if they were doing it under the Canadian Experience class, possibly, or more likely under a provincial nominee program after they've been in Canada and they've been working for 12 months already. So this allows them now, because of the job classifications that have been changed, we are now able to include them in the express entry stream as employment that is required and needed in Canada, and therefore they are now eligible to apply for federal skilled worker, for Canadian Experience class, and federal skilled trades, and in occupations that perhaps previously they would not be eligible for the express entry stream for permanent residence. I know, for instance, just from a case study example of truck drivers, many of them are retiring across the country. There's a desperate need for truck drivers in Canada, transport drivers, whether they're long haul or short haul. And not enough people in Canada are taking on those occupations. The younger people are doing other things. And so therefore, to be able to bring truck drivers from other countries to provide the logistics, to keep our supplies going across the country, they had real challenges sometimes qualifying for permanent residence, depending on which province they were in. Some of the provinces have added truck drivers to the provincial nominee list of occupations, but many have not. And so if they weren't in the right province that recognized the need for truck drivers, for instance, then that meant they weren't eligible to progress to permanent residence. And they would spend years and years as truck drivers without the stream to lead them to permanent residence. So this new announcement and this new process is a really major, major change in immigration. It's recognizing that not all necessary and needed workers have to have a 4-year degree or a master's degree or a professional degree. We need people, and I think especially during COVID, it's really changed this focus on healthcare, the importance of people working in old elder care homes and working in hospitals, and working assisting people in schools. There's a real need for that level of supportive employment, but we don't have enough of them. So for them to be able to participate in permanent residence and be seen as a valued and necessary occupation is huge. And I really feel like this is something for you to think about. If you're working in these capacities in Canada now, or you're abroad and you're thinking about moving to Canada, knowing that these new 16 positions may be eligible for you to be able to move yourself to permanent residence and help your family join you as well in Canada. So I'm going to review the titles again. Payroll administrators, dental assistants and dental lab assistants, nurses, aides, and patient service associates, orderlies as well, pharmacy technical assistants and pharmacy assistants, elementary and secondary school teacher assistants, sheriffs and bailiffs, correctional service officers, bylaw enforcement and other regulatory officers, estheticians, electrologists and related occupations, residential commercial installers and servicers, pest controllers and fumigators, other repairs and service providers, transport truck drivers, bus drivers and subway drivers and other transit operators, heavy equipment operators, and aircraft assemblers and aircraft assembly inspectors. That is the list that the government has announced as under the new 16 new eligible occupations for pathways to permanent residence through the express entry stream. If you have any questions at all on this new announcement and how it may impact you personally or your employees, and you'd like to learn more, please do contact us at the details below, and we'd love to help you see if we can assist you to help you move to permanent residence under one of these new 16 pathways. Thank you so much for joining me on this LinkedIn Live, and I look forward to speaking with you next week exactly at the same time. Take care. Bye-bye.